I am not. I don't make fun of you often.
No, but sometimes you do.
But that's what we do. That's part of my love language.
Can I tell them? Can
What?
I tell them the story of how you got punched in the chest? This
No.
could totally like play into our
Okay,
topic.
fine. Go for it.
We don't have to start it like that. I just
No,
wanted
go.
to.
Just say it.
We were hanging out at a bar in Boston at a 90s themed party and having a conversation with this new woman that we had just met. And we became good friends pretty quick, I feel.
I feel like we did.
She was fun, but
She's
we were,
from Canada. I don't
she's
know if
drinking and
they
we're
do
all
it differently
getting,
over there, but
we're all laughing and having a good time. And she cracked a joke or something. And like, when people reach over and kind of like tap your shoulder, like to remind you to laugh or like whatever with you. But she full on like slammed your chest.
she
And
punched me, guys.
she punched you.
She straight up punched me in my chest. And like any strong MASC lesbian, I fucking pulled my shoulder in and I was like, ow, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So,
it was an experience.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. We're talking about gender roles today, which is what I think made me think of that, because you were the only MASC lesbian in the group, and she kind of treated you like a real bro.
Yeah.
Like you were a dude, kind of, for a second.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I recently was talking about it on TikTok. I think I was under the impression that by coming out, there wouldn't be quite as much of this idea that there's still gender roles, but I'm learning that there kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
Like this assumption that even lesbian couples have like a more masculine and a more feminine person in the relationship, and that there's one that's like supposed to do certain things. And I don't think we're like that.
Yeah, we're not. I will say in my relationship with Tommy while we were married, I had the masculine role, he had the feminine role. And I would be like on the weekends working in the garage and he would be in the house like doing something.
Tommy's
folding
not
laundry.
Your average man.
Folding laundry or something.
Yeah.
But with us, I think since for me coming out non-binary, I don't really feel attached to any one gender. So I don't really see I don't feel like I have a certain role in this. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like I was saying earlier, I think that plays a part in why our relationship works as well as it does. Like we were just watching a video and she was saying that if there's two drivers in the front seat, right? Because usually there's a driver and there's a quote unquote passenger princess.
Mm-hmm.
But she was saying if there's two drivers instead, then it's too much of this like headbutting war of dominance in the masculine area.
Mm-hmm.
And that typically, like, because femmes get labeled passenger princess, that's their masculinity trying to come out, but like not quite being allowed to. And I think that's silly. I think that's so silly because I would label both of us the driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
100% of the time.
Drive, yeah.
Yeah, and we equally offer to let the other one drive. Like I don't know, that's just weird to me to
put somebody in like some type of role and say like these are the different things you're allowed to do because you're the more masculine one.
Or or things that you're not allowed to do because you present yourself in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the whole like MASC term, I feel like it's more of a style versus the way you carry yourself, because I think it's more about just like being into certain style of clothing or hairstyle. And I think for
what did she call it? Physicality?
Yeah, physicality.
And that was another thing I disagreed with, that I think we watched a video where she said it doesn't have anything to do with your physicality, and I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like you just explained, it like that's where people get their first assumptions, so it clearly has something to do with it.
Yeah. So what would be something that, I guess, like what are some things that I do that fit in the category? Because now I'm like sitting here wondering like
what fits you in the category of being more masculine, you mean? I think everything you do with a very masculine presence about yourself. That was one of the very first things I picked up about you when I met you. Even when you were presenting more feminine, your body language itself, no matter what you're wearing, is more of a masculine presentation.
I
The way
feel
you
like
walk, the way you talk, the way you move your hands, even like all of it.
but I feel like nobody recognized that until I cut all my hair off. And then they were
Not
like,
me.
"Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
There
maybe.
it
I could see why
is."
some other people might feel that way, but I had never met you. And it, like the minute you walked towards me in the airport, I was like, what the fuck? Not what I expected, but so much better, I guess. Better than I
Yeah.
expected. But yeah, that's one thing. I don't know. You do a lot of the heavy lifting. You're never afraid to try all of the harder things. Like when we build stuff, we build it together. When we
Mhm.
remodel stuff, we like, I don't know, you
We do it
do,
all together.
yeah, you do it all.
Yeah, I would say some like key differences, and this is again going based on style. Like when you wear like tighter or like lacier things, like I don't like.
You can't do
I
that.
and I like I don't feel like that has anything to do with the way I present. It's just like more of a like um sensory thing or something.
Yeah,
Like
just a style preference
the thought
too.
of something tight on me and constricting and like lacy, itchy.
I will say, as often as we talk about sharing a closet, and as cool as it is, there are things that both of us own that neither of us would actually ever wear.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, I know I own things that you would never actually wear, but like even when I was wearing your pants the other day,
mm-hmm.
it was cool for the day, but like it didn't feel like me.
Really.
Yeah.
And I kept telling you, like, "Oh my
You
god,
loved
those
it.
that outfit looks so
They were
great on
like what,
you."
men's slacks? What are
Yeah,
those?
just like your
Like
gray
dress
Docker
pants.
type
Yeah.
of pants.
Yeah. And I just didn't, I don't know. I do wear so much tighter of clothing. You dress very masculine compared to me. Like even your cut off jean shorts, I don't feel like I pull them off at all.
Mm.
I don't pull off that style, but you pull it off really well.
Well, that's good because that's where I feel most comfortable.
I will say, as masculine as you are, all of that changes the minute we crawl into bed, folks. Kirby does become so precious, such a
Well,
little baby.
an angel baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you become my little mask angel baby.
Yeah. And that's something that's nice too when you can like peel it all away, strip it all away, and like just be who you are
Mm-hmm.
without anything giving anybody else the perception, you know? You
Mm-hmm.
just are, you just exist.
I was even trying to think just now, like of some femme qualities that I would say you still have, but I like you don't even wear makeup anymore at
Yeah,
all. Like
at
we were
all.
just talking about this that like someday I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna do your makeup again, just for like a video for shits and
Yeah, it's been
giggles.
over a year since I've not put a
I
single
think if you walked
speck
out
of
with
makeup.
makeup on, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I don't think I could do it. It
I don't think you
doesn't
could do it either. I mean, you would look
I
great.
never really knew what I was doing when I was doing it. So like I just kind of made
You
that
were
shit
good at
up.
makeup when you wore it.
I don't feel like I was. It's just a
It
little
changes your whole look though, and I feel like your look right now is the most you it's ever been.
mhm.
Obviously. I mean, you strip away
Yeah.
everything, the hair, the makeup, you do become the most authentic version of
Mhm.
yourself.
Yep.
I like it.
Well, I like that you are both like you have extreme femme qualities and then
Especially physically.
like more mass qualities in a lot of areas too. And I
Like what? Give me an example.
um
It's
like
because I'm strong, right?
well yeah,
Strong like bull.
you're very
I'm just
strong. You're
kidding.
very strong and I don't know, sometimes the way you sit or talk and carry yourself, like you're not super girly.
You've never told me that.
Yeah,
I don't think you've ever told me that.
I think I feel very comfortable around you because of that because you're just like we can be bros for a minute. We can be
Mm-hmm.
best friends, we can be besties, we can sit and spend hours making up a dance routine or you know,
We made up a dance routine. We didn't make it up. We practiced a dance routine
bar.
in the middle of a bar
Like we didn't care that anybody
around a
else was
bunch of
around. We were just
strangers.
like this is kind of lame. Let's just like see what kind of dance moves we got here. No,
That's
but like we can do so many like things, but I feel like when it comes to like when it was like putting the treadmill together, putting something together, like getting the drill and hanging a lot of the stuff up, I think you jump into that role and I'm really comfortable with you jumping into that role and you take lead in that space.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a masculine quality. that's a level of confidence to say, like, I'm going to hold this up. I'm going
Hmm.
to be the one on top of the ladder at the very top with the sprayer in my hand and do this. It's a very
Oh, I was
masculine.
scared.
Yeah,
I tried not to show it. I tried to be tough, but
you were tough.
I was so scared.
Oh, I would have fallen off. So there's that.
No.
But yeah, so I like our non-gender roles. I think
Yeah,
it's very gentle.
yeah, me too. And I think that I'm going to do more talking about it as I continue to think of more things because I think that there are things daily that I'm like, yeah, there it is again. Like just things that we both jump in to do at the same exact time or would do if the other person wasn't there and just always kind of like this push pull like who's it going to be? Who's going to get there first?
Who's
Like when we were
driving?
running to the swing at the little Nerf gun war or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
both of us spotted the swing at the same time and like just went sprinting for it. It's
And
like how
then
we address everything.
yeah, I love it.
Me
But
too.
okay, so now turning the tables a little bit, and the comment that I get from outside people or a lot of straight cis men are, um, why are you lesbian trying to date somebody that looks like a
That looks
man?
like yeah, I've read that so many times and I think it's really silly because like what's under the clothing still didn't change. Like and even if there are parts of it that did, women have qualities that have absolutely nothing to do with what they look like. It's all internal. It's
Mm-hmm.
their emotional intelligence and their sensitivity and ability to like be calm and listen and
Mm-hmm.
those are like inner qualities that you it doesn't matter what you looked like.
Yeah.
And there are some men that have those qualities,
Mm-hmm. But not many.
but not many.
Not many, and that's just like scientific fact that like men do not have the same emotional
It's actually
intelligence.
really interesting if you research like the book we're reading. I wish I had it because there's a part in there where it talks about women's brains versus men's brains and it's not just emotional intelligence. The list is quite long of
Mm-hmm.
all of the different areas in which
Mm-hmm.
women have better stats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
We're pretty amazing,
we are pretty amazing. I
actually.
think that for me, when I get questioned, why are you trying to look like a boy? I get that one. I don't get the man so much. I get more of like, why do you look like a 14-year-old boy?
Yeah.
And maybe there is some truth to that of because I came out later in life and when I was probably my most comfortable self was in my teenage years when I didn't feel like I had to be any type of person other than myself.
Hmm.
And I had a very teenage boy style. And I
Do
think I
you
fall
think
back to
that
that.
part of it too is all of the years that you probably would have dressed like you're dressing right now, but you were suppressed into dressing, whether it was when you were young and you had to do modeling shows that you didn't want to, or when you were like a young adult working at places that you just like were expected to wear
Hmm.
heels and tight dresses, like you probably would have chosen to dress more like what you're doing
I
now.
think, like, for me, yes, I would have 100%. I had with different career job opportunities, when you get a new job and you're like, okay, I want to go get a new wardrobe, I would have some of my more girly friends go shopping with me and
To like help
help
you.
me pick out the clothes because I was not good at finding those femme, like, casual business casual outfits.
Hmm.
So getting all that and knowing like, oh my God, I would never wear this, but I'm going to wear it to this job and I'm going to play the part and I'm going to dress for the role that I want. Right. So, but I think what changed was having really TikTok and maybe Instagram too, but like TikTok for sure, of having people have a platform and sharing their styles when it's like, non-binary mask lesbian fit checks or
Oh,
outfits,
OTD.
like being able to see how other people are dressing and how to take the styles. And like after coming out, I feel like a lot of the clothes I've had for, as Trump would say, many many
Many, many,
years.
many, many
Many
years.
years I've had my clothes. And so there was not
A
like
lot of it just has to do with how you're styling
yeah. So
them.
I was like, yeah, I have a bunch of flannels, and
Yeah.
okay, lesbians like wearing flannels. I've always liked wearing flannels. What,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But what I'm saying is like a lot of the stuff I had was already existing. I just didn't know like I could tie it up the way it was, or
Yeah.
style it up the way
Put
it
a little
was.
twist on it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that you are still very much so in like the very professional world, multiple days a week, and you have learned how to like have a professional new style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One
I'm
of
I'm personally a big fan of like the pants that you wear, your lower region when you get ready for work.
yeah.
Yeah. Girls' butts, women's butts make men's pants look much better than men's butts do. So there's that.
Yeah.
Anatomy works well in that
I do feel
category.
so comfortable these days dressing how I want to. And I guess if that makes me look like a 14-year-old boy, I guess like that's okay too.
Yeah, I don't see I don't know. I don't see you looking like a 14-year-old boy when we're out and about.
I mean, I could
Maybe
see
from a
like,
distance, like from a far
yeah, and I
distance.
could see like, somebody who's in their 40s, I'm turning 44,
Which you don't
like
look
wearing a hat backwards or
44 at
wearing like
all.
a certain outfit, like yeah, that is a younger style, but like somebody would find something to say like if I was all of a sudden wearing like halter tops and like heels and like had like other things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no matter what, somebody's gonna be like, oh, now they're wearing this. Unless
The
I
thing about it too though is that you dress for comfort and functional, how would you put it? Functionality?
functionality.
Like even when we were walking through the airport yesterday and your hair was like quite literally sticking to your fucking forehead from flying and you were like I grabbed your hat for you and handed it to you. Like it was functioning the way that it was supposed to fucking function, and yeah, you were wearing it backwards, but like a lot of people that dress for not comfort,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
at least
Yeah.
you're winning in that category.
Yeah.
You're a very comfortable dresser.
I'm always comfortable. And
Simple.
like shit, like I think back to like the times that I did wear like a full on bikini or um something that was like
Lacy.
more like showing more skin than I typically would show now. And I think back on like how uncomfortable I felt just like bending, moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you think of yourself as a mom, like at a beach in any type of bathing suit and you're crouching down trying to dig sandcastles with your kids with like your butt cheeks sticking out. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. To me, like, would a guy like be cool with that too? Like,
No.
you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, give me a pair of shorts and like let me
90% of
cover
the
up.
time, I'd venture to say women do not dress as comfortably as they would like to.
That's why the first thing they do when they walk through the
Take
door
that,
after
oh my God, take
work
that
is
bra
like
off.
change into like a comfortable
Ugh.
t-shirt and pants because you're like, finally, I
At
can
the end
be
of
what
the
I
night,
want.
taking
Yeah.
my bra off and like just like scratching my like rib
Hmm.
area, it's like the best feeling in the
No,
whole
so
world.
like that's a good feeling for you, but for me, as a non-binary person that also like has an opportunity to take my sports bra off or whatever, my binder off, a lot of the times I don't like to, but for a second. I want to take
Mm-hmm.
it off for a second, let them breathe, and then
And
put it right
sometimes you
back
put it back
on.
on.
And
Yeah.
that is, I think, a common thing with more mass lesbians is like, you don't take that sports bra off. You just don't.
Yeah.
And add another piece of being non-binary where like there's a lot of times where like in my head I'm like, I don't want these, I don't need these, I don't want these.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked about it before of like going back and forth whether or not I am going to get top surgery. And even though I've been curious about it and I love watching other people's journeys and seeing like,
And we've been seeing some incredible
oh
surgery
my god, I feel
outcomes
like they're just getting
where
so
we had
good.
to like investigate. We were like, hold on, did they actually, what is happening? Because it looks so
Yeah,
good. You'd
so
never
good.
know.
So for me right now, surgery is not something that I'm like looking into, but I also don't want to feel my chest up against my shirt. Like I don't want to feel rubbing. I don't want to feel any
Like the
type of
heaviness
like
of
the
it or
heaviness or
the,
the movement or
yeah.
anything. I don't want to feel any of that. So
Yeah.
most of the times like I won't sleep with a binder on, but I'll sleep with tighter sports bra on.
Yeah. I'm always surprised. Well, I was at first anyway, because I can't do it. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's what feels comfortable,
yeah.
and like if everything something fit. But the fact that people are so pressed to sit there and say like, "Well, you're gonna dress like a man, you better be a man,"
Mm-hmm.
or "Okay,
You know what I think
you
part of
say you're
that
a lesbian,
is?
but you go date somebody that looks like a
That part.
man."
I think a lot of the people that make that comment are men for the most part. I've never seen a woman say that. And I think a lot of it is jealousy. Jealousy that women are out doing everything that a man can do plus more.
Plus more, and let's just talk about the plus more for a minute because like if you're not familiar with
We're
a
kind of
lesbian
threatening is really what
relationship,
it comes
lesbian
down to.
relationships are threatening to men. They should be because yes, I can look like whatever
You could look like a 44-year-old woman if you
if
wanted
I
to,
wanted
like
to.
that.
Yeah, if I wanted to. Now, but like throw in the fact that I'm going to go get a pedicure with you, get a manicure with you, buy you flowers, receive flowers, bring home candy, sit in bed and read the same book right next to you.
Mm-hmm.
If your husband's sitting in bed and you guys are in a fucking book club together, I want to know about it
Or
because like
like
I don't feel
sitting
like
in
that
bed
happens.
eating Starbursts and laughing until you're literally crying. Like
Learning dance routines together,
all of
sitting
it.
in a bubble bath with your toes touching or like wrapped around each other with candles going, scrolling on Pinterest. Ladies, is your like let me know like in this video on like comments, let us know if like your husband's doing that because I'm going to venture to say they're probably not.
I am on the same page. That's not happening.
Are they door dashing you if you're not in the living together, are they door dashing you food, or maybe you just started your period and all of a sudden you have a craving and it's like you need some Midol and some cupcakes and tampon, like are they doing the gift basket?
Without even being asked to? Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
with no
And
with
that's
no
the key
ask.
though, because like all of these things are being done without any mention of want. It's just I did this for
And we're
you.
not trying to fix anything right away either. Like I want you to sit down and tell me about your feelings.
Like actually
Like I'm
talk.
going to ask like how that made you feel. And
Yeah.
I'm going to want to know all about it and we're going to talk about it. And then we might even transfer it into our journal, our shared journal together
Mm-hmm.
and then read about it and discuss it later.
And then we'll talk about it on the podcast as the
So
last
like
thing.
that's the other side of it. And
Men hear all of that and they're like, "Oh, fuck that. Never could
yeah, they
I."
think that's too
Like,
much work. It's like they're pressed the fact that they even got to take you out to dinner,
yeah.
like spend a little bit of extra money. And I'm over here like, what percentage of my budget goes to what piece of the pie does Ember get to make sure that I'm like able to shower her with all the love and affection? Like that is a priority in my list.
Yeah.
And I think um yeah, you're not going to always get I don't know. I do say all the time like I don't want to like scare straight women and I don't want to discredit it. Like if you have a good healthy relationship, like love that for you. Sometimes hard for me to understand these
I
days, but
I
love
well, and
that.
in the back of my mind, I'm like, I do love it for them. I really do. But also, like, have you ever tried the other side? I'm just curious. Have you
we're
ever
not
just,
push we're
I'm
not
not trying
pushing
to
this.
push.
We're
I'm
not
just
pushing.
wondering if
We're
you
not
ever
pushing
gave
this
it a
because
go.
like I used to be the person that was like the grass is greener on the other side. Only where you're watering it, it's greener. If you're watering something in your relationship, it's going to naturally get greener. Yes, that's true. But I'm also here to tell you, like, fucking A, the grass is greener on the other
There are
side.
certain states where grass just grows better, you know?
Yeah.
That
So,
type of thing.
um, I don't know. I don't want to like, I'm not trying to like, we're not man hating by any means. Do you, if you got a good man, high five all the way around the room, high five. I'm just
But
saying,
have you ever
like,
tried the other side?
don't say that Ember's trying to date a man when, like, number one, no, that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the part. I still have a vajay. Like the part is still the part. And
Yeah.
that's why we say if we have to check a box, we check the lesbian box because at the end of the day, it's both that's what we're attracted to. That's what, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think just like moving forward, I don't know. I feel like in everybody's relationship, if you feel like you do fall under a certain category of like more of the one that always steps back and lets the other person take the reins, or maybe you're the one that's always doing everything and you feel like you are the superior, like, or maybe superior is not a great word, but like the initiator, the
Mhm.
whatever, take charger,
Mhm.
like try to cross those lines a little bit and try to do play that other role for a little bit and see how it feels.
Yeah.
Because it's actually
Well,
it's nice to be able to like step back sometimes or to be able to say like, no, today I do want to drive, like, can I
or
have the
even
keys?
just like dom versus sub, like
Play around with that
play with
too.
that, because when we tested those boundaries, that was a little eye opening for me where I was like, wow, I really do like sub, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, you learn that you enjoy things inside, outside the bedroom. It doesn't matter that you'll surprise yourself.
Hmm.
And you might learn that your relationship doesn't have quite so much of a gender role as you might have thought.
Hmm. Yeah. Or even just like start to say, this week I'm going to pick the date and I'm going to be in charge, and you just sit back
But then
and,
what if we woke up that day and it was like, no way.
what do you mean?
You know, like if you planned it out like that, I feel like it has to be such an on the spot thing. Cuz it all depends on like what's happening in the moment, no? Cuz I could be like, "All
Yeah.
right, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and dominate the day. I'm going to top you all day." And
Oh,
then
yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm just not having that kind of day. I'm
Hmm.
just super like not in the mood."
You might turn into like a little baby, and then I have to just
You
like
might have to
rock you
rock
to
me back and
sleep.
forth
Yeah,
all
I will
day.
rock you back and
You
forth.
never know.
There's moments.
There are.
That's the other thing, is like, I think for women, like your cycle plays a huge role in
Oh my
your
god.
what lane you're in for that week,
100%.
right? And if it's like, really, I mean, we get one good week out of the month. Like one solid week where we're like, I'm feeling good mentally, physically, like shit is on track. Like
Mhm.
I'm doing great.
Right.
And then that crashes a little bit and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna start crying for no reason, and I
Mhm.
don't know why. All these, like, why do I want to go back to fourth grade and like revisit like this fucking traumatic experience, but like heal from, like
Mhm.
all this shit. And it's like, I think for, when it's two women and you're understanding of that, then it's easier to be like, I know what you're feeling right now because I felt this. And I think that's the hard part for a man, is like, he's like, I have no idea what's going on in there.
Yeah. I think you're the first person I've ever been able to, without the like a shadow of a doubt, be able to track like where we are both at and how that plays a role in our relationship.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a
Women just understand, like I understand what you're going through, and so I'm able to like put myself in your shoes.
hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah, we know what
and
we
vice
we know
versa.
what we need, and like if we say like we're thirsty, like, to get up and get the
To
fucking
just
water.
that's all you got to say.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. But then again, at the end of the day, just exist, and actually take the time to want to do all of the things and spend quality time with your partner. But I don't expect everybody to be as obsessed as we are.
It's actually a little bit wild how we can do every single thing together 100% of the time, and like I would never get tired of it ever.
Well,
I get tired of myself more than I get tired of you.
yeah, I start to feel like maybe I'm too much sometimes. Like after we've been
Same.
nonstop,
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
should I just not
I
talk
know,
for a
I'm
little
like,
bit?
maybe I should just like disappear for a second.
I'm glad you have felt that because so have I.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Maybe even a little bit this morning.
Same though. In the shower?
Right. Well, yeah, right before.
Yeah, because I took my shower after you, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we need some time apart. Maybe it's
Yeah.
a good thing we're not showering together right now. Maybe we needed
But it
separate
wasn't because of
showers.
you. It was because of myself. I was like, maybe they don't want to be around me for a minute.
Interesting. We're unlocking something here.
We're opening new doors.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe we were just feeling, we were getting ready for Jet's party, and there was a time crunch, and we were kind of just jumped into the day right away without a center connection like we typically have.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, and I think there's like this high that you come off of after vacation ish vibes as well, like traveling in general.
yeah, yeah,
It's like it's an adjustment back to being at the house, and Yeah,
Well, it's also draining when you go to a conference and you're around people nonstop, you're networking, you're taking a lot of information in and trying to process all of that and absorb it and make sure you can like re-articulate it at some point to other people, right? And then
it's an
you're
overload
it's
of
sensory overload. It's
information
sensory
and
overload and then
interaction.
yeah, just trying to be like anytime you're sociable, like
Mhm.
whether it's a small kid's birthday party or a work event or anything, it can take a lot out of you, not just in the moment, but the anxiety or angst or whatever you might be feeling leading into it and then coming off of that high and then like settling back into life. And it's like,
Jet lag.
I have anxiety knowing tomorrow's Monday. And it's
Yeah.
like I just was at a conference for 4 days and now I have to jump back into work and that's can be a scary feeling when you're like where how do I pick up where I left off
Mhm.
and make sure that I'm still doing the best work I can do and all of the things and be
Mhm.
present at home and jump back into all of that just like your day-to-day stuff. It's no longer a new town where you can just make an excuse like I just have to meet people and go to dinner, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep, exactly. Well, I think you're doing great, and I'm
I
glad
think
you're
you're
not
doing great.
tired of me and I'm just tired of myself.
I get
That's
tired of
good to
myself.
know.
I think it's normal.
Yeah.
I think it's more normal than people admit. But I'm here admitting it that I get tired of myself. I think I'm too much or I think I'm not good enough and I get in my head
Mhm.
just as much. But here I am
Here we are.
showing up. That's just like really like that's all you really got to do. You shouldn't overthink anything. Like as long as you're showing up, like that is like probably the hardest part.
Yeah. Yep.
And I tell myself that every day. I'm like I showed up. Like that is the biggest thing for the day.
Yeah, and showing up one day might look completely different than it does the next day, and that's okay. Just
Mhm.
show up at whatever level you're able to show up at.
Yep. There was so many good little nuggets from this conference that I was just at and I did like a meetup with the LGBTQ plus community
Community.
really
Yeah.
and they had some prompt questions for us to break up into groups and talk about them and one of the things that came up was obviously with it being extremely close we're under 50 days of election day and so it's a lot for people emotionally to take on and um you know if things go the way that we don't want them to um how do you um like how do you deal with that? What does that look like? People are making plans about like moving, like completely moving the state that they
Yeah.
live in, the country that they live in. You know, people want to leave America. All of these different things. And this one woman spoke up and said, like, for her team, she's allowing people to take a couple days, a day or two after election to just process, to um,
Prepare,
prepare,
process.
process, grieve, whatever it is you might need to be doing at that time. They're not expecting people just to jump right in and go right back to work as if nothing happened the next day when it's so devastating and it changes so many different things for so many different people. There's so many emotions involved. Um, and I think that way with a lot of things that we don't slow down and stop when there is a huge crisis, when there's a mass shooting or just with so many things
Yeah.
that happen, you know, when we watch a whole entire um, race get annihilated
Well, it
on our
goes
phones and then just keep showing up to work like none of the like this doesn't affect us.
it
And
goes all the way down to like having children.
yeah,
Being expected to go back to work, what, 4 to 6 weeks after you have a kid?
well, I mean, like 6 weeks is standard
Mhm.
for most people. It's 6 weeks because they can't take the extra
In general, humans just don't stop ever,
and like
and we're not
feel it and
allowed
feel
to.
it. And so
Yeah.
I think people are recognizing that and people are talking about that. And that made me really happy to hear this woman speaking about how she is managing her team and what she's going to allow because she knows how it affected her the last, you know, back in 2015 or 16, whatever year it was that Trump was last elected.
Right.
You know, that was devastating for a lot of people.
Mhm.
So I think that that was one thing that like I kind of want to just think on a little bit more about like um you know, just in general, feeling things a little bit more and not just diving back in. So right now, me feeling like, oh my God, tomorrow's Monday. when you're listening to this, I'll already be in the middle of my day. So please send me good vibes. But no, just like, I can't like waste this like unknown feeling of anxiety right now. I will deal with it as it comes, but I'll also like take time to feel it out and make sure that I'm in a healthy mental state to process things. And
Mm-hmm.
if I need a mental day, take a fucking mental day.
Yeah, take a mental day and then be present in the moment of that mental day.
Hmm.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like making sure that you really are present, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little bit more credit if you're showing up and that's all you can offer. That's more than some people can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I like your TED Talks. I'll
Do
always be
you?
front row center.
Yeah.
Hmm. I could listen to you all day.
And if you don't know, Ember's wearing one of our merch shirts.
Sweatshirts.
Um, we're gonna be putting these back up for sale
Okay,
here
we
pretty
got
soon.
re-inspired over the weekend
Yeah.
and we have new exciting ideas and it's going to be a lot of fun.
We have these amazing coffee mugs. We have these coffee mugs, these fashionably late coffee mugs and sweatshirts in almost every single flag that
Mm-hmm.
you could think of.
Yep.
They are out there. We just have to put them back out there.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
Yep. We've got an Etsy shop, believe it or not. We just don't talk
Believe it
about
or
it
not.
enough.
Like right before we were coming over to record, I said something like, "Oh, we should put some merch on the show today so the people watching and subscribing to YouTube can see it." Because we're going to be putting it back up for sale. And Jet, my 8-year-old, says,
You guys have
"You guys have
merch?
merch?" And I looked up and I said, "What influencer doesn't
Doesn't.
have merch?" Like, bro,
Get with
Mama's
the
got merch.
times.
Exactly. We got merch for days. And if you guys want some, let us know.
I'm excited about our new ideas. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Stay tuned because we always got ideas.
For now, we're going to go do a dance.
Yeah, we're going to go practice a dance routine
Do a
and
little
maybe you'll see it on the
dance.
old YouTube channel.
Make a little love.
Get down tonight.